Hi, you just tuned in to BQuest, the program that examines what motivates ordinary people to make extraordinary changes in their physical condition. I'm your host, Sebastian McLean, and on this episode, we'll be meeting Danny Hargrove of Chipman, New Brunswick. Now, Danny's a paramedic, and he's very good at what he does. However, Danny suffers from a condition known as rheumatoid arthritis, which sometimes leaves him wondering if he can even function properly on the job. Thankfully, Danny's sought out a little bit of medical advice and a little bit of exercise, and now he's well on his way to being back 100% at the job that he loves.
My name is Danny Hargrove. I'm from Chipman, New Brunswick, and I'm a certified EMT with the village of Chipman. I've been an EMT, certified EMT for about 7-8 years. I've worked in ambulance work for 13 years total. Basically, me and my wife both work for the village of Chipman as EMTs. It can be hard sometimes when you're together all the time. You work for a month together and you're home together all the time, but we pretty much have things at home that we do different. We kind of have different things that we like, so it gives you your own space. We never really crowd one another. But working together is good because if you go out on a call, we know each other very well. So you get to know her level and your level, and it works well when you're dealing with patients. The other side is if you go out and have a bad call and you come home, then you have your opposite to talk to. So she understands if I come back from a bad call, I can talk to her and I can tell her what I did, and she can shed light on it. You may think you've done something wrong or you could have done something different, and she'll say, no, like I would have done the same thing or whatever, and I can do that for her. And it also, she had the medical knowledge to help me when I was going through my illness. Like she understood, like, because she has the medical knowledge to understand, well, yeah, you know, so when if I was in pain or you're in a grouchy mood, well, she understands why. So it worked out really well. Back in 2004, basically around the middle of July, I started having a lot of problems with basically one leg, and then it went to the other leg, and I was unable to walk. I was just kind of dragging my legs. And I went to my family doctor and was telling him, and within a period of about a week, I think, or approximately a week, I couldn't make a fist with either hand, and it was horrible. Like I was having real trouble. I couldn't even work on the trucks. I was basically down to doing a little bit of office work, off on sick time. He basically done some blood work and different things, and he basically came back and told me that I had rheumatoid arthritis, and I went, wow. And like when you have a job that you really love to do, you're kind of on top of the mountain. Like everything's great. You go to work every day. You're happy. You get to help people. And then when all of a sudden everything just overnight, basically overnight for me, everything just come to a halt. It was like I woke up in the morning and all of a sudden I couldn't walk. Like, you know, knees were gone, and then hands went and arms went. There's your bone, Emma. But when I used to lay on the couch, I'd be laying somehow like this on the couch. If I wanted to get up, I couldn't get up. I had no way of getting up. So I'd have to wiggle around and crawl. And I'd go like this. And I'd just keep pulling myself until I could get up on the arm of the couch like this. And then with my elbows and my arms, I'd try to force myself up like this. And then I'd slowly stand up. And then I'd have to balance myself, and then I could turn and make my way to wherever I was going. So it wasn't any fun. Just getting water, baby. Nothing fancy. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. Like back then I couldn't pour my own water. I could not take a container and pour water when I was in a bad spell. And in order for me to pick a glass of water up, I'd have to try and do this. Well, it's pretty hard to do this and take a drink of water. So basically it was almost impossible. I couldn't open any jars. I couldn't even get the top off a pop. I remember having the 2-liter bottle of pop like this, and it was new. And I'm standing here and I'm doing this, trying to get the cover off, and Jennifer says, "Do you want me to take it off here?" And I go, "No." and I tried everything, even to grab it, because here I had no strength in my hand because I couldn't squeeze my hands to grab it tight enough, and it was impossible. At the end of it, she had to take it off. I mean, it was just, there was no way. Couldn't even pat my poor dogs. No. Once in a while, eh? Huh? What do you think, baby? 2.5 years ago when I first got sick, in order for me to go up and down upstairs, I basically had to do, along this line, I had to get both arms down like this and then come around like this, and I'd take one arm up and then I get a leg up, and then I bring the other arm up like this, and then I'd pull with both arms to bring my other leg up. And this is basically how I went upstairs. It was along this line, and it was a struggle. Like, it took a long, long time for me to get up, but and it was a struggle. Sometimes you get halfway up, you'd have to stop and take a rest. I was always scared of leaning too high up because backwards you come, and a lot of times Jennifer'd be at work, so I'd be here by myself. And then she'd call me to see how I was doing, and the phone would ring like 30 times before he'd get to it, because if I didn't have it right with me, it would take me forever to try and get off the couch to go get it. So it was interesting to say the least.
I'm Dr. George Ecker. I'm a rheumatologist here in Fredericton. I've been looking after Danny now for a couple of years. Danny is a patient with rheumatoid arthritis who been rapidly progressing disease, who we started on Remicade. Rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune inflammatory arthritis which affects the joints of the body in a symmetrical fashion. People present with pain and swelling, stiffness involving the small joints in their hands and feet, but their large joints as well. Remicade, we give it by infusion. We give it initially as a loading dose. We give it at week 0, then 2 weeks later, and then 6 weeks from the initial dosage. And then maintenance dosage is every 8 weeks thereafter. The infusion takes about 4 hours to do. Danny's now, I think, on every 6 weeks that he gets it.
No problems at all.
Well, Danny, when he got his arthritis, people didn't believe him. People said, no way you're going to work again. But he said, oh, I'll be back. I'll be back, he said. They go through a lot. There's not only pain, there's also a lot of swelling in the joints and a lot of stiffness. You know, as I mentioned, the hand joints are frequently involved, so fine motor activity, you know, is affected. They have difficulties with everyday, ordinary tasks, which we take for granted, like turning on and off a faucet, or opening a jar, or opening a carton of milk. All those things are extremely difficult.
It was unbelievable, and anybody that has a disease or lives with chronic pain, I fully understand now. Before, I didn't have a real understanding. You know, you go to help somebody that was in pain or had a disease, you do your best, but you didn't understand the pain they were in. I've lived it. As I started getting a little bit healthier with this disease in the last year, and doing a lot of cardio and stuff, and I'll tell you, working out gives you more energy. It makes you feel better. I probably eat 3/4 less junk food than what I did before. Once in a while I have a bag of chips or something, but not like I used to. I find when I work out, even over to fire hall, next morning I jump right out of bed. I want to get up, I want to get going. It's like, working out's like an adrenaline rush also. The more you do it, the more your body craves it, the more you want to do it. And I do a lot. I have an exercise bike at home, and I bike every night. Every night before I go to bed, I'll bike so long. If I'm home in the daytime, I'll bike in the daytime. I have it so I can watch TV, and I just sit there and bike away. It's great. Lifting weights, riding my bike is now a part of my basically daily routine. It's something that I fit in every day, either at the fire hall, I'll do at home. It'll be part of a daily routine from here on out, because I have more mobility. I can stretch more. When I first started taking the medication and seeing Dr. Ecker, he just gets you to do a lot of the different things, and I can do it, but not as good as what I can now, because working out has given me not only strength, but with the stretching stuff that goes with it, it's given me more flexibility. I sleep better at night now. With the medication, I slept good, but now after a good workout, man, I go home and have a nice big glass of ice water and maybe a piece of toast or something, and when I'm ready for bed, man, I go to bed and go to sleep. If I don't do my workout when I'm supposed to do it, I know it the next day.